If you love fabric, chances are you're a collector of fat quarters. Here's a clever and creative way to use only 5 fat quarters to create a crazy quarter table topper. It's somewhat crazy with random piecing techniques, yet the look and the process is totally appealing. Let's take another look at our crazy quarter table topper. You can see gradating colors of green fabrics and then an accent piece. You could use any color choice you'd like of fat quarters. We have the 4 gradating colors of the green, and I've cut the straight edge. I folded the quarters in half, meeting the 22-inch end, meeting the wide end. Now, fat quarters, if you recall, are 22 by 18 inches, or approximately those sizes. You may find measurements off just a little bit, depending upon the width of the fabric. Now we're going to cut these into 3 widths, 2 inches, 3, and 4. And to make it easy, we're going to use the Shape Cut Plus. It's a die cut ruler where it's die cut every 1/2 inch. And at the beginning and ending of each cut is a teardrop. The teardrop, as you'll soon see, is a place where I can begin placing the rotary cutter. I have markings on the ruler at 2 inches and then plus 3 inches plus 4 inches, so I know exactly where to cut so that I don't make a mistake. And to mark it, I've used glow line tape. This tape can be placed down and then removed. You can possibly use it 2 or 3 more times. So I have these 3 markings. I've straight cut one edge already, and I align the ruler on top of the fabrics and make these 3 cuts. At the 2 inch, at the 3 more inches, and then 4 more inches. And then after cutting, you can simply just stack these fabrics to the side. And you might have enough to cut another crazy quarter table topper. The accent piece is also fat quarter, 18 by 22 inches, and you're going to do the same type of folding so that the 22-inch ends are meeting. You could remove the glow line tape and reposition it. Reposition the tape so that you have a marking at every 1.5 inches. I'm going to line the fabric straight. I've already clean cut one edge. I don't have all edges marked on my ruler. I would need 12 cuts, and I'm simply going to cut just a couple of them for you. 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, and 1.5 inches. Makes it visually easy to know exactly where to put that ruler. So after you've cut 12 of these, then you're going to pair together an accent piece with each fabric strip. Meet right sides together and place the fabrics. Now here's a close-up of using a little foot, straight stitching with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, stitching the accent piece to the main body piece. After you reach the end of one piece, then simply butt the next collection, the next pair together, and keep chain stitching until all fabrics, all 12 pairs have been made. Now, we're going to do some layouts. You know, there's that old bumper sticker, quilters don't die, they just go to pieces. Well, that's what happens when we're working with this crazy quarter layout. We're going to lay out the 3 colors of the lightest fabric with an accent piece that has been sewn, and then continue to lay out the next shade. And you continue until, ta-da, you have all 12 pairs sewn together. We go from the very lightest to the very darkest of fabrics. To make this random and really crazy, we're going to sew the ends together. Sew it into a tube so that we can now subcut again. The purpose of doing the tube is so that we can get a random layout in just a little bit. And you'll see the process as we go along. Now, our original table topper has a variety of widths of this final cut, wide to narrow, wide to narrow. You'll need 4 narrow and 3 wide widths in the various widths. 3 inches or wider or 3 inches or narrower is what you need. And now I'm going to align these edges, which have been already straight cut. And now just use a traditional ruler and cut 3 wide and 4 narrow strips. 3 inches or wider. I'll cut some 3-inch, then cut, let's cut 3.5 inch, and then a 4-inch. And then you'd also cut some narrow strips, 2, 1.5, and 1 inch wide. I'll make this one 4. After creating all 7 cuts, then you're going to do some auditioning. Release the first cut. We're going to release a seam in this area. And I'll just use a seam ripper to release one area. And I'm releasing at the junction of a light and a dark fabric coming together. And I'll lay this out. The next layout I need is a narrow strip. And I would like the narrow strip, which I've already released, to be a light color at this end. So I'm alternating light and dark, light and dark. And now let me find another narrow strip that I've already pre-cut. And I'd place this, kind of see exactly where I'd like to make this. Let's see, let's release it in this area. It's a visual decision. So you cut this and then sew together. And perhaps I have 2 colors alike here. I might just kind of switch it around as I'm creating this. So you're going to have 7 strips. Then sew those 7 strips together. Here we have another option of the layout. I have batting and backing have been pinned together. We're using flat flower head pins so I can press on the top of them. Then you can stitch the layers together and use your favorite binding technique. And in just an afternoon of time, you'll be able to finish this crazy quarter table runner. Nancy's Notions offers a full selection of sewing notions to test out your new sewing or quilting skills. Order your supplies today.